to give us a chance to retire a Jet, win 2 Super Bowls.
He just can't help himself. He just wanna just do that, right? We gonna find out, A-Rod. Cause you talk a lot.
Yes, sir.
You talk good. You're real smart.
Yes.
With the cow, right? My boy with the cow. We gonna find out. Cause you can talk all that. What's that saying? Don't write a check that you
can't cash.
Hey, we gonna find out.
2-5, you won 2 Super Bowls. You know what it takes. You know the journey to winning Super Bowls. You were on a lot of good teams over your 12-year career, which led the Eagles in all-time rushing. But when Rodgers says he wants to win 2 Super Bowls, let's just scale it down to 1. You think 1 is realistic for Rodgers?
That's real quick. Why we gotta say 2 though? Why could if he just say, we're working hard, got a good team, I want to just win a Super Bowl and retire a Jet. That's cool. Anyway, what's the question? My bad.
Can Rodgers win 1, 2-5? Can he win 1 more?
I will say this, though. I think this is the best chance he has to win a Super Bowl with this Jets team. If you look at the team and the roster, really, really good on defense. We watched the last 2 years with this Jets team on defense where they had a chance to even win a division because they played well on defense. Chance to make the playoffs because they played well on defense with no quarterback play. Now you get Aaron Rodgers a little older. We don't need the old A-Rod, the 48 touchdowns. We don't need all that. We need him to play efficient football, right? You get some wide receivers in there. You got some new linemen. Hell of a running backs on that team. So you have everything you really need to win a Super Bowl. And the best part about it is the first goal on any team is to win a division.
Yep.
You can do it this year. It's realistic. The Bills are not the same, right? Josh Allen and a lot of reserves. I'll just say that being in a good manner. And then you look at the Dolphins are up and down. I don't know what Tua's got going on, if they're going to sign him or not, but you know how that is. I just feel like right now for the Jets, the best time to win a Super Bowl or even compete for a Super Bowl is this year.
Best time, Joy.
Because he is, 40?
40.
And he ain't getting no younger.
41 in December, I believe. Joy, winning a Super Bowl, just 1. Not the 2 that Aaron Rodgers spoke of, just 1. Is winning a Super Bowl realistic?
No. Who's won the Super Bowl this year, Shady?
Probably Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Or the Eagles.
So that's 2 teams.
Yeah.
That's 2 teams that you right now have ahead of the Jets, right?
Yeah.
I do not have.
Why don't you ask me?
Who do you have winning the Super Bowl?
Bang, bang.
Niner gang?
Oh,
okay, cute. I love that. Love that. Because I agree with both of you. So that's 3 teams that are ahead of the Jets now? Who do you have winning the Super Bowl?
All right, if we already said those 3, I'll throw in the Lions, maybe.
Love it.
You didn't say Dallas?
I got all those teams, too.
Why would I say
So now
Dallas?
we have, I'm trying to keep track of so many. I think it's 4 teams that we have above the Jets. So I'm glad we mentioned that because the Jets are not on my short list of teams that I would even consider to take down the Chiefs, who I think are winning the Super Bowl this year. So let's see. In the AFC, because that's where they play, they are a team. You're picking them over the Bengals right now?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay. Picking them over the Ravens right now?
No.
Ooh, I don't like that delay. Let me start again.
again.
Maybe I'm still getting my voice back. Are you picking the Jets over the Ravens right now?
Not in the regular season.
Not
no.
until I've seen Aaron Rodgers.
Not in the regular season. no.
Okay, so that's 2 more teams
Maybe
that we
the
had
playoffs.
mentioned. So we have the Chiefs, we have the Eagles, we have the Niners, we have the Lions, we have the Bengals, we have the Ravens. All right, let's go a little further down. The Packers. How about the Cowboys?
I'll take the Jets before I take the Cowboys.
All right, let's do the Texans. Texans?
No, Texans.
Ooh, the
Texans.
Texans. Ooh,
Okay, so we're all taking the Texans.
Texans.
And the Bills, Dolphins, Cowboys. Now we're kind of getting into the category where it's a
Go the
toss-up.
way. Go the way.
Sure. All right. That's a lot of teams that we just mentioned, some of whom were in the AFC, and we didn't even really need to get into the fact that they'd have to get through the Chiefs. Like, we just took the Chiefs out of it, right? Like, there's a whole long list of teams they have to get through in the AFC to get to the Chiefs, then they have to get through the Chiefs, and then they have to beat one of those teams in the NFC that we just mentioned in order to win a Super Bowl. Because the question is, win a Super Bowl.
Hard to do.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, he's 40 years old. He's going to be 41 mid-season. I don't know if ayahuasca ages you backwards. If so, let us know. I'm sure we'll be doing it a whole lot more out here in Beverly Hills. He is coming off of an Achilles injury.
Yeah,
he's not 39 last year, played a season, did okay, and he's coming in now a little bit older, and we're all being ageist. He's coming off of an Achilles injury. I don't understand. When did Achilles become Dave's thumb? No, like,
No sympathy for the thumb.
I'm confused though. Like, is Achilles injury still a very serious injury?
It is.
Because we
It is
acting like
very-
it's not.
It is very serious.
We're giving out $100 million, $180 million to Kirk Cousins, who has 1 playoff win. We're talking about Aaron Rodgers winning a Super Bowl, 40 years old, coming off an Achilles injury. By the way, the season that he played as a whole before he tore his Achilles injury, he missed the playoffs and didn't throw for more than 300 yards. So I'm going to say no.
I'm not going to argue with you.
You know, I felt kind of lukewarm about this, but now maybe it's this chair. I'm in the James Jones chair. I'm about to ride for 12 or 8, whatever you want to call him. James, I'll do you proud, man. Look, the prompt is not, are the Jets going to win the Super Bowl, by the way. If I'm sitting here trying to predict the Super Bowl, I wouldn't pick them either.
No, it said realistic.
Realistic, and it absolutely is, Joy Taylor. I'm honestly a little surprised that we are completely writing this team off in the idea of realism. Again, not asking them, not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl. Can I squint and see a future where that happens? Keep in mind, we just talked about it, which Jets, by the way, maybe get Hassan Reddick into camp because that's a big part of this. Top 5 in total defense the last 2 years.
That matters.
Some studs on that defense, which even as good as the Jets defense is, we only ever talk about them collectively. Like, we don't get Quinn Williams his shine. I mean, Sauce gets plenty of shine.
Of course he does.
But in general, we don't talk about the star power over there, especially if you get Hassan Reddick into camp. Again, you are talking about a defense that can dictate the way games are played. If the Jets, what was the stat from a couple years ago? If the Jets averaged 19 points a game, they'd have been 9-8. I don't need prime A-Rod.
9-8, delicious.
Into the playoffs and into the dance, Joy Taylor.
Is 9-8 getting you into the playoffs in the AFC?
Where your experienced quarterback
It's not winning
can help
you the division.
All I'm trying to say, if the Jets defense plays the way that it has the last couple years, 26 touchdowns and 12 picks is probably good enough to get you into the playoffs where you will have a chance to reach the Super Bowl. You got Garrett Wilson, one of the best young receivers in football. Kudos to the Jets. Again, another thing that goes under the radar. They spend big-time resources to beef up this offensive line.
Starters and backups.
Potential Hall of Famer, Tyron Smith on the left side. Morgan Moses on the right side. You got John Simpson at guard on the left side. Breece Hall, one of the best young running backs in the NFL for him to hand off to. If he's healthy, all I'm saying is I can see a world where the Jets are really, really good, and that means it's realistic.
I got a question.
Likely,
for
I don't
Joy.
know.
Question for Joy, 25, Dave Hellman. Joy, the question is for you because I'm with Dave in the aspect of the roster is talented enough. I got my questions about the coach. I got my questions about the quarterback. But the roster of the Jets is talented enough to win a Super Bowl. It's a top 10 roster in the National Football League. Some could suggest top 5. I probably wouldn't dispute it. Joy, the Jets, Aaron Rodgers or Rodgers' Achilles. What do you think is the primary limiting reactant for the Jets winning a Super Bowl in your mind, right? Is it the fact that the organization hasn't won a playoff game in 13 years?
No.
Is it the fact that Aaron Rodgers haven't been to the playoffs in 13 years?
Yeah.
Is it the fact, but I think they won it 13 years ago.
Yeah, but they haven't been back. They don't
Sure,
go.
but I was like, wait.
They don't make the postseason.
So they haven't been nor won, obviously, in 13 years.
So you were right, technically. But it was important to mention that they haven't had an opportunity
Yeah, it's
because
not like
they
they've
didn't
been
actually
making it and losing.
go there. Yeah.
They have Aaron Rodgers, when he was last healthy, didn't play well and didn't
Right.
make the playoffs, and he tore his Achilles. What is really your biggest, not what is your concern? I know you're concerned about all three, but what is the biggest concern?
Honestly, it's his Achilles and his ability to come back and play at a high enough level to win in the AFC. I know we think that this division is but now, okay? But I don't actually believe that it is. I think the Dolphins will still be really competitive. I'm not completely writing off Josh Allen and the Bills. I know the roster doesn't look that impressive, but he is the second best quarterback in the league. He does have fine, he's the third best quarterback in the league. I think he's second.
He's second.
So whatever, even if he is or he isn't, and he's not the kind of quarterback that doesn't go do things himself as well.
Game changer for
Do they have a better coach than the Jets? Sean McDermott is a better coach than the Jets. Than Saleh at this point. So I'm not completely writing off that the Bills are going to be completely terrible either. I don't think this division is completely lacking in competition.
Yeah.
The Jets they don't have a good roster. They have a great roster. They have very, very high level talent. And we know that that's not just on paper. But we are expecting Aaron Rodgers to come in here and look like Aaron Rodgers. And we are forgetting that the last time we saw Aaron Rodgers, which was almost 2 years ago, he didn't look like Aaron Rodgers then. And that for some reason, we think that that level of play will be enough to not only win this division, which I don't think that it will, but then go through the postseason in the AFC where Joe Burrow and the Bengals will likely be, where Lamar Jackson and the Ravens will likely be, where the Miami Dolphins have been for the last 2 years, where the Kansas City Chiefs will be, where the Houston Texans will be, and some other team that we don't know, that we haven't predicted yet. So Where are they walking into that postseason? If they make it, which, by the way, because they haven't been there in 13 years, that they're just all of a sudden going to roll through and be winning a Super Bowl. I need to see it. Like, I'm a doubter, okay? I've said many times, I will be chasing this train out of the station. I'm fine with that. I run fast. We're used to. I can't see it.
Can you see that they can match up with everybody on the AFC other than the Chiefs?
Sure.
They can. They can match up with the
If we
Chiefs.
saying we talking ball, like, okay, so the defense, you talked about being top 5 the last 2 years. So now you get a little better with Hassan Reddick because he's going to come over there. I mean, I'm just thinking about this overall.
Yeah,
and then on the offense, so as a defense, you got to do so much to stay in the game because your offense is trash, right? Zach Wilson was bad.
Yeah.
But now you get A-Rod. I don't need to have the A-Rod of the old, the 50, 40. I don't need all that. I don't need the first team. I don't need none of that. I need this efficient quarterback. A-Rod is he used to be so good, right? Let's say he's not at the elite level no more because I don't think he really is. I don't think he's a top 8 guy no more. But if you're a top 15 dude, that's good enough to win because your team is that good, right?
Is he the second best quarterback in the division
Yes.
right now?
Over Tua?
Ooh, that's so tough.
Right now, he's the second best
I
quarterback in the
can't
division?
say it without seeing it.
gotta
I mean,
see it.
obviously,
I can't
he's
say it without
You gotta see that.
obviously not as good as Josh Allen right now, so we don't even need to have that conversation.
him or
So
Tua.
he's not the best quarterback in the
him or
division.
Tua.
So he's in between Tua. We're not talking about resume, guys. Stay with me
But
here.
the Jets,
Wait, can I say this real quick? So, let's look at Tua for a second, right?
Yeah.
Before he got the coach and these players, we all thought he was just.
Yeah, but he has the coach of the players.
Well, hold on. So he was regular, though. We all thought he was regular, right? So what I'm saying is you put A-Rod in there with these players.
What A-Rod?
The same.